class online, you're going to discover how to master the bow staff. These are bow staff basics breakdown. You're going to be able to do all the basic moves really fast, starting with this warm-up turn. I'm using a heavy staff today, just so I could break up my training, add a little bit of a heavy element so that I continue to challenge myself to grow. You can do that if you have multiple staffs. This one's made out of plastic. It's a hard, unbreakable plastic. You're gonna go side to side, and it has lights in the end. I think you can see that. I don't even know if they make these anymore, but if you're interested, this came from karatemart.com a long time ago. You just go from one hand to the other hand, you're just going side to side. The faster you go, the more strength you're gonna build in your forearm, but start slowly, especially if it's heavy. This one's very heavy because it has battery packs in the end. After you do that on each hand, I want you to go to the side and do that same thing, breaking down bow staff basics. These are the fundamentals. You need a strong, powerful grip. You need strong wrists, shoulders, healthy elbows and shoulders. Putting the other hand side to side. I don't know what's happening with YouTube, but they're changing the way they do the live streams. All of a sudden, I've got to be vertical. I can't go horizontal today. Maybe that's just a setting I've got to change. But I appreciate you being here. Going side to side. I wanted a good shoulder workout, so I chose this heavier staff. You can go light or heavy, doesn't matter if it's light. You can move faster, heavy. Go slow at first and speed it up. I'll break down bow staff basics. You need a proper warm-up. Now you can see that you've gone through all three basic ranges of motion here, to the front, to the side, and then overhead. You want to be able to move your staff at least in those planes of motion. Of course, we're going to go across the body and back, behind the back. Now, once you've done that on each hand, you're going to go from hand to hand, turning out and to the side. Starting slowly at first, you can see that your pinky fingers come together, your palms are facing up, and then it turns out. This turn out and then make it stop and pull it back will fire all those muscles in your forearm and build a very powerful grip. If you do any other martial arts or self-defense styles, whether it's striking or grappling, you're going to be better at it just because you've got a strong, powerful grip. Strong wrists, hands, elbows, shoulders. Keep your stomach up and in, abs tight. Make sure your chin is tucked a little bit. Never let your chin stick up. You'll get knocked out. From here, you're going to take that same motion and go up and overhead. Now, if you're worried that your belly's showing like mine, either wear a longer shirt or stop eating so much. I'm talking to myself right now. I don't really care. Anyway, you're going side to side. I like getting it done. Doesn't matter what other people think. Pushing out, pulling it back. My forearms are starting to scream. This heavy staff, we're going to go into a figure eight spin. Putting your right hand, you're going to lead with that right thumb. You're carving down and out. You're coming inside. There's a circle here and a circle here. They cross through the middle. That's your infinity sign. This is also called an endless spin or a figure eight spin. Your hand stays closed on your staff. This is going to build flexibility in your wrist. Stomach up and in, abs tight, tuck the chin. Other hand is up so you don't knock yourself out with your stick. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Speed it up when you're ready. Starting to turn your shoulders and hips, suck your gut up and in. That will help stabilize your core so you can move faster. Put it into the other hand. That's your left foot. Put your left hand forward. Start slowly as you're warming up. And then speed up. This is how you start, by breaking down bow staff basics. You want to learn the fundamentals of martial arts. You should be able to move through all planes of motion. apologize for that. It just flew out of the tripod here. Like I said, I don't know why YouTube has changed the format on me. We're just gonna go with it. Stomach up and in, abs tight. Hopefully that didn't make you throw up. I know if I were watching right now, that might make me a little nauseous. But you're gonna go faster and faster. Once you get the warm up, put it back into that first hand, and then you're gonna go in a different plane of motion, exact same figure 8 spin, going to the front of the body and then to the back. I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see that. And again, the reason for doing all this as you start to break down the bow fundamentals or bow staff basics is you want to be strong in every plane of motion. It's going to build powerful shoulders. This is also going to help you fight, defend yourself, whatever your purpose is. If it's just for fun, learning new tricks, it's going to give you a lot more skill. Keep your chin tucked, put it in the other hand. Start slowly in the front of the body, going to the back. You can break parts of this workout out and just focus on a little bit at a time, or you can just do the whole thing every day. Do it for 100 days, you'll be a bow staff master. You'll master the basics. And you'll start to come up with your own moves. You'll watch somebody else do something cool, you'll be able to pick it up very quickly. Now you're going to take that same spin and reverse it. So you're leading with your thumb, carving it in, carving it in. Now you're going to lead with the pinky, pulling it out, pulling it out. This is almost like a reverse hand knife strike or a back fist coming in this way, upward hammer strike, but you're pulling. Maybe imagine you have your katana, your sword, and you're pulling out so you can slice his head off. You're pulling for self-defense. Pulling it up and out from side to side. Before you were going forward, just so you can see what that looks like. Now you're pulling it up. Stomach up and in, abs tight, slow as smooth, smooth as fast. You're gonna find that when you go in reverse, you tend to move faster. Once you get that down, put it into the other hand, slowly pulling from one side to the other side. Put it back into that first hand and pull it sideways. Again, I'll turn to the side so you can see, going to the back, to the front of the body. So you're going to focus on just what the hand is doing. I want you to be able to learn as much as you can. Not as important that I look good. Once you get it, you speed it up. If you're still fighting it, slow it down. There's no need to go faster than where you are right now until you're ready. If you do a little bit every day, before you know it, you'll naturally speed up. Others might be impressed with your skill. That won't matter because you'll be impressed with your skill. You'll see yourself growing. Again, we slow it down. Pulling, you can see that pinky finger is leading. Stomach up and in, abs tight, tuck the chin, slow as smooth, smooth as fast. Speed it up when you're ready. Get your other hand up. Get your feet under your body. Bring it back into the right hand. You're going to do your figure 8. When you come to the left side of your body, your left hand will go behind the right. Take it behind your right hand. Your left foot comes forward. Your left hand goes to the right side. Your right hand comes behind. Behind is the key. When you're going from one hand to the other hand, I like to start to move the feet here. Gradually speeding it up. Let's slow it back down. See what it is that you're doing here. And then you speed it up. Bring that to a stop and reverse. There's that reverse figure eight. Now when it comes to the same side, that's your right hand. When it comes on your right side, your left hand will go in front. And pull it out. Left hand comes to the left side. The right hand reaches across your body, grabs it in front, pulling it out. Take your time, tuck your chin. I'm gonna say tuck your chin about 1,000 times, I think, just because we were sparring last night a little bit in the boxing class. Someone kept getting tagged. I'm sure they have a headache today. I was afraid they were gonna get knocked out. It's because you kept lifting the chin up. Get your chin down. You can take a punch better when your chin's down. Even though we're not fighting each other, we're not hitting each other with our fists, all the principles are the same. You defend yourself, tuck your chin. Bring it to a stop, and I want you to work the wrist roll. When you break down bow staff basics, you need a wrist roll. Wrist roll becomes a transition move. It breaks down the speed, changes the rhythm. So when you start to freestyle later, or you come up with a kata, or you're doing a performance, or you're just trying to stretch your brain, improve your brain elasticity, and you're moving in a natural way, you're gonna throw in a wrist roll every once in a while. Now this is your thumb side. When you turn your palm up, open the hand, let it go over the back of the hand. When you turn your palm down, there's your palm, down. See if you can see it from the side, thumb side, pinky side. Put in the other hand, same thing, practice wrist roll, wrist roll. Now if you like working with martial arts weapons, any style, I love working with a lot, and I will upload as many as I can. I've just ordered some new ones so we can add some new to those of you who want to add it. Give me the thumbs up so that I know you're interested. And subscribe if you haven't. That way, when they come out, when I make a new one, you get a notification and we can keep training together. Wrist roll, wrist roll. Almost smacked the camera again. We don't want it falling through the floor like it did earlier. Now you're going to take the wrist roll and marry it to your figure eight spin. So that's your regular figure eight spin. You open the hand. Hello, Stephen. Stephen asked what my favorite weapon of choice is. Stephen, it's always been the bow staff. I love the sword. Love everything about the Japanese katana, bokken, shinai, kendo style. I love fighting with the sword. I love everything about the jo. I think the jo is one of the best. The jo is the size that's a little bit smaller than this one. The jo staff, medium-sized staff, I think is one of the most practical self-defense tools you can train with, because you can carry a walking stick or a hiking pole, defend yourself with it if you know how to use the jo. I love the self-defense cane. I think of all the martial arts weapons for self-defense, it's the most practical. You bring it to most places. I love nunchucks just because they're challenging and fun. But the bow, this long martial arts staff, it's always been my favorite. Come from one. Derek says I'm good with it. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. But so are you. You're just as good as I am. And here's what I grew up believing. I've been doing martial arts since I was a little kid. And I have been blessed in my life to train with and be around some amazing martial artists who have done amazing, amazing things with their body and their mind. And I always thought, and the best ones would say the same thing, I've always thought if they can do it, I can do it. And my firm belief is if I can do it, you can do it. And you can do it better than me. All you have to do is train a little bit more. Push yourself. The more you drop it, the more you're learning. Just pick it up. Now that's the forward spin. You can do the same thing with the reverse figure eight. There's the same wrist roll. It just happens on the opposite side of the body. So play around with that. Do your forward spins with wrist rolls, and your forward figure eight, and then do the reverse figure eight with wrist rolls. As we break down bow staff basics, you learn the fundamentals of martial arts. This is how you challenge yourself to grow. Come over one side and the other side, and then bring that to a stop and go up overhead. Now, overhead, if we turn it out from one side to the other like we warmed up with, we have half of the overhead behind the back combination. There's also spinning that you can do over your head. You can also do one hand spinning overhead. But we're just going from one side out to the other side. Thank you, Alita, I appreciate that. So done kind and powerful. I am most days. But when we go behind the back, your thumb just comes up, your hand slides between your body and the staff, and you take it and pull it out. Your arm goes up straight. Right here is where most people hit themselves in the head or are worried they're gonna hit themselves in the head. I'll tell you right now, the only way you're gonna hit yourself in the head is when you bend your elbow, because right there it is, it's right there. Or if you're spinning it as you're coming up, you're likely to hit yourself in the head on the way back. But if you lift your arms straight, you gotta turn a little bit so you can stick it through the ceiling. You lift your arms straight, like from here to here, the spin happens behind the back, the spin happens overhead, but when you go behind your back, it doesn't spin. Spins here, arms straight, spins here, arms straight, never hit your head. You might hit your calf back here. A lot of you have done that. You hit that back there. I did that all the time. You might hit your head back here. Your head's back. That's why I say tuck your chin. That's not why I say it. That's the other reason. Side benefit, you're not going to whack the back of your head. And if you do, I promise you, you're not going to die. Might hurt a little bit, but you'll learn really fast that way. That's behind the back, overhead. Let's talk about the butterfly spin. The butterfly spin is the one that so many people want to learn and then get frustrated with and stop trying to learn it because it seems so hard. It's really not. It just takes practice. Yeah, H says practice mindset, probably best foundation. Absolutely. Your hand is like this. Think about your wrists and take off your watch. I never think to do that. See how much I'm outside running with the kids every day. You can see how sunny it is out there. My skin gets pretty dark. So your palm, back of your wrists are together. As they come up, there's your butterfly wing. There's your little antennas or whatever it's called, antenna. From here, your bottom hand that turned it gets out of the way. Top hand turns it. Bottom hand comes back in, takes it. Top hand gets out of the way. And I make an emphasis there to say gets out of the way because that is the biggest challenge that I see when you're learning it is that your hand's in the way and it doesn't spin and you get frustrated because it's in the way. So you pull it out, turn it until you can slide it back in. Pull it out, slide it in, keep your wrists together, turning. You can see my left elbow's popping up a little bit. That's because I'm inflexible right now. 1,000 push-ups a day will do that to you. I started it on my birthday, January 30th. Missed 2 days because I got so sick. I was unwell. I was going to give you all the details, but you don't want to hear that. All right, then you bring it back the other way. Turning it. See how the hand's out of the way? Turn it over, grab it. There's your butterfly. So the butterfly goes either way and with either hand on top. You put this hand on top, sliding one way, sliding back the other way, butterfly spin. When you open that butterfly and you take the wrists apart, now you have the skip catch. You see a lot of people want to learn that one. And all it is just a deconstructed butterfly. And the value of all these spins is just a really powerful forearm and grip. And I know I've mentioned that before, but I really want to emphasize that in this workout. Now, we are talking mastering bow staff basics and mostly about the spins. And I'm going to show you just a couple strikes because I want you to spin and strike and spin and strike. Because if you learn how to do all these cool spins and you start doing tricks, go behind the back and then spin back the other way and then into one hand and roll it through your fingers and then changing positions and go behind the back and overhead, and you do all this cool freestyle, you should also then be able to pull it into some strikes and then go back into the spins. And I find that a lot of people don't know how to strike. All they know how to do is spin. And the bow staff, or the staff, bow means staff, so the bow is meant to hit people with for self-defense. It's not meant to just spin. The spinning came later. That came a lot in wushu, that came a lot in the movies, and it's really cool. A lot of American karate styles, a lot of famous actors. There's a Star Wars with the Darth Maul. He had a staff that kind of looked like that. It was a double-bladed lightsaber. But the point is, if you can learn how to add some strikes in to your freestyle, you're gonna look a lot cooler and you're gonna feel better about it because you know what you're doing. So what I'm gonna talk about is a split grip. And this is perfect. I don't think they make these anymore, but if you're interested, go to that first link below, Karate Mart. They do not give me any money. They don't have any affiliate programs. They don't give me anything. They offer me every once in a while a free weapon, and you know, I'm super flattered so that you guys can see. And I don't mind helping them out because especially our industry has gone through a lot of pain since. Yeah, this video will stay on the channel, Free Space. Thank you. His question was, I hope the video stays on. Yeah, so you can come back here, slow it down, and watch what we're doing. But yeah, and Darth Maul was the guy with the double-bladed lightsaber. But our industry since COVID, this just, and it wasn't COVID, the cough or whatever, the flu, the sickness that people got. It was the reaction to it, the shutdown just devastated the martial arts industry in this country and around the world. And a lot of the suppliers got hit the hardest because all the schools they were supplying, 40% of them went out of business. So all these small businesses just gone, and the rest of us went from hundreds of students to handfuls of students. And so they're not selling as many uniforms, as many weapons, and all that other stuff. So I don't mind giving a shout out to Karate Mart. That's my point, sorry. Anyway, so split grip, one palm up, one palm down. Think of coming off your shoulder and striking. That's kind of a kung fu style where it shakes. Japanese style doesn't shake. But this strike and this strike. So think about an angular strike, hitting him in the temple and the jaw, in the upper arm, and then a punch with the backhand, just like a straight punch to the face. That makes that a horizontal strike. You can do that to his head, you can do that to his leg. But you have 1, 2, and a thrust, either with the backhand or with the front hand, kind of like a spear. So think of those 4 basic strikes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then switching hands, there are 2 ways to switch. One is very traditional. This is very traditional. Your hand would never come off of your staff if you were doing traditional Okinawan style strikes with your bow. You would never spin it, ever. Those guys, those purists, for good reason, because if you're fighting like that, you're gonna lose your staff. But if you were in a movie and you were Darth Maul, you might do all kinds of fancy spinning because it's a fantasy and it's a movie. But I want you to know both. I want you to know this switch, changing your hands, and all it is your front hand opens and pivots, your backhand opens and pivots. You're just sliding from one side to the other. So this is your warm-up for changing hands. And you can do this in your freestyle. if you ever learn any traditional bow kata or pumse or forms, patterns, you would learn this transition without taking your hand off. And then I want to show you the one that I like better. Not for practicality, it's not more practical, it's just fancy. And that is, it's basically a wrist roll and then stop it with the other hand. A wrist roll and stop with the other hand. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna push it, pushing down and pushing up, pushing down on this hand, pushing up on this hand, and then accelerate. I don't know if you can hear it. And bring it to a stop. And then throw a strike, throw a strike, throw a spear, switch it, strike, strike, thrust, switch, 1, 2, 3, switch, 1, 2, 3. So now, if you're doing your freestyle, and you're swinging around your body, and you're turning, and you're going different planes of motion, whipping it up over your head, and doing a Darth Maul thing, and you can come in, and you can thrust, strike, strike, and then switch it, and then be on the other side, all from that basic switch. So again, it starts here, one palm down, one palm up. It's going over the palm that's down, or the back of the hand of the palm that's facing down. So I'm pushing up here, stopping it. And the reason I like this so much, you can hear it in my breathing, is it's hard, and it's forcing my muscles to work, and it's gonna get your heart rate up, and it's gonna lean you out, it's gonna give you a better grip, and it's gonna make you stronger. And once you've done that, add some strikes, get used to. Now, Karate Mark does have a 2-piece bow staff that comes in a holster. And I'm laughing because it seems corny to me. However, if you had 2 pieces, like Daredevil, you whip them out, and they extend like a police baton, a collapsible baton, or expandable baton. Depends on if you're collapsing or expanding it. Pop it out, screw it together, and all of a sudden you have a staff. I'm thinking that might be the next new weapon that we work with together. And if you're interested in that, please, in the comment section below, if you watched this far, let me know yes or no. Yes, I'd love to see a 2-piece, wear it on a holster. And I'm laughing because where are you gonna wear it, right? You're gonna walk into the Walmart. Maybe next time you're pumping your gas, you wear your 2-piece bow staff and someone gives you some trouble, and then they'll go running, because nobody wants a piece of that. You just have to screw it together really, really fast. But I think that's the next one. If you want to see that, yes. Thank you, Tori. Please put that in the comment section below because I won't be able to see all of the chat, but I will be able to go back and read the comments. So if you do want to see me do a video with you screw it apart, put one on each side, where there's a holster, you look like John Wayne walking, pop it out, screw it together. That's what I'm picturing. And we'll get it, and we'll do a video, we'll see if it really works like that, and if it's a fun thing. And the reason that I'm interested in it is because a lot of times you're asking me, well, I can't walk down the street with a 6-foot bow staff. Some people do. I've hiked with mine many times. Many times I've had a rucksack on, and I've hiked through the woods, and I carried my 6-foot bow, or I carried my 54-inch Joe. I carried my Joe mostly, but I've carried the bow several times on hikes. So you can, but what if you had a 2-piece that you could travel with? You could throw in your not your carry-on, but your check-in bag, and then you're on vacation, you're on a work trip, you have something you can whip out, and you've got a great option to travel with. And then who knows, maybe where you live, it makes sense to carry one on each side for self-defense. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for working out with me with this. Put that in the comment section below if you want to see that new weapon. And if not, if you have another idea, give me another idea. Send me a link to some other weapon you'd like to see us work with. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you for being here. If I can figure out how to end this one. They've changed. They've changed so much, I can't see I don't even know where it is. Anyway, you guys have been great. I will see you. I can figure out how to go. There we go. how to end it.